Chaos does not arrive quietly. It crashes through the courtroom doors, scattering papers, shaking foundations, and forcing even the most loyal defenders to scramble for excuses. That was the scene yesterday, not in an actual courtroom, but on the stage of America's state-run media theater, Fox News. Donald Trump appeared in public, pale, stumbling, visibly diminished. Proof of life, they promised. Proof of decline, the nation saw. And in that moment, the spectacle of panic began. Fox, the self-proclaimed news outlet, erupted into a frenzy. Doctors, senators, pundits, they lined up like witnesses under oath, desperate to convince us that what we saw with our own eyes was false. They weren't reporting, they were pleading. He's sharp as a tack. He's healthy. He's mesmerizing. Words stacked high like sandbags against a flood, collapsing as the waters of reality surged through. So let us proceed as if this were a trial. The people of the United States are the jury. Fox News and Donald Trump stand as the defendants. The charges? Hypocrisy, deceit, and contempt for the truth. We will examine the testimony, we will cross-examine the witnesses, and we will deliver a verdict rooted not in spin, but in the rule of law and the simple clarity of fact. Exhibit A, the medical defense. Dr. Siegel, Fox's own senior medical analyst, took the stand. His testimony? Donald Trump's incoherent rambles are not signs of decline, but evidence of vitality. He doesn't use a teleprompter, the doctor insisted, as if rambling without notes were proof of clarity rather than confusion. He even warned that to question Trump's obvious weakness is not medical observation, but age discrimination. Ageism, he cried. Objection! For years, these very networks dissected every step, every stumble of Joe Biden. They labeled him frail, unfit, decrepit. Were those years of coverage not soaked in the same ageism? Yes or no, answer the question, doctor. If Biden's cough is evidence of collapse, why is Trump's staggering proof of strength? The math isn't mathing. Exhibit B, the political chorus. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen declared that Fox exists to deliver truth. You can actually get news here, he claimed. Yet the record shows otherwise. Under oath, we introduce into evidence the Dominion lawsuit. Billions in settlements, text messages revealing that Fox's own hosts mocked their viewers as stupid, admitting they were knowingly feeding them lies. Yes or no, Senator? Can a network that lies to its audience be trusted as a source of truth? If your witness is impeached by his own documents, his testimony collapses. Exhibit C, financial conflict. Fox Business, almost by accident, revealed that the Trump family has secured a stake worth up to $5 billion in a new cryptocurrency. $5 billion, an eye-popping number, larger than Trump's real estate empire. This is no small side hustle. This is the most valuable asset in the Trump portfolio. And how did it arise? Through cozy connections, foreign funds, and the prestige of a presidential name. Tell me, jury, if President Biden's family had pocketed billions from a crypto scheme, what would Fox have called it? Corruption, conflict of interest, impeachable conduct. But when it's Trump, he is the crypto president. A branding opportunity, not a constitutional crisis. Again, the math isn't mathing. Exhibit D, the comic relief that reveals the con. Jesse Waters, in a moment of Freudian slip, admitted that Fox merchandise is made in China. The same network that rails against globalism, that demonizes trade with Beijing, that chants America first, profits off leashes and mugs stamped with Made in China. The hypocrisy is almost too rich. And yet, here it is, live on tape. Exhibit F, rewriting history. Gavin Newsom, governor of California, was accused of stealing Trump's style. No, Governor Newsom wasn't imitating, he was mocking. Style is not policy, satire is not flattery. And yet Fox twisted parody into praise, because in their universe, every orbit must circle their chosen sun. Exhibit G, the law itself. Janine Pirro, slamming her gavel of outrage, claimed there is no difference between deploying police officers and deploying the National Guard for law enforcement. But the Constitution, if called to the witness stand, would beg to differ. The Posse Comitatus Act forbids the military from acting as domestic police. Federal judges have ruled on it. Legal precedent is clear. Yet Fox dismisses the law as nonsense. What does that reveal? That when legal standards contradict their narrative, they do not adjust their narrative, they attempt to erase the law. Exhibit H, the slander of citizens. Senator Tommy Tuberville smeared the people of Chicago, declaring them corrupt, mentally ill, or stupid. Millions of Americans reduced to insults because they reject his brand of politics. Is that leadership? Is that representation? The oath of office swears allegiance to the Constitution and to the people, not to the ego of one man. And yet Tuberville spits contempt upon those he was elected to serve. Exhibit I, the erasure of history. Jesse Waters returned with another astonishing claim, that Black Americans and indigenous people did not build Chicago, that credit belongs only to the English. This is not just bad history, it is willful revisionism. Chicago was carved from indigenous land. It was built by the sweat and labor of Black migrants, by immigrants from Poland, Italy, Ireland, Mexico. The city is a mosaic of cultures, struggles, and contributions. To erase those voices is to commit an act of historical vandalism, live on air. At this point, the prosecution rests. The evidence is overwhelming. The pattern is undeniable. Doctors redefining weakness as strength. Senators selling lies as truth. Hosts turning corruption into branding. Anchors rewriting science, law, and history itself. All of it in service of one man who looked weaker than ever and one network that cannot admit the obvious. Now let us cross-examine the defense one final time. When Fox says Trump is sharp as a tack, is that consistent with the images of him stumbling out of a golf cart? Yes or no? When Fox says criticism of Trump's decline is ageism, is that consistent with their years of attacking Biden for age? Yes or no? When Fox says the Trump family's crypto billions are legitimate, is that consistent with their outrage over Hunter Biden's business ties? Yes or no? Members of the jury, the math isn't mathing. And so we arrive at the climax. The courtroom grows silent. The gavel is raised. The Constitution itself, personified as a weary but unwavering witness, clears its throat. Truth, it says, is not optional. Law is not a partisan toy. Public office is not a family ATM. And journalism is not a license to deceive. These are the words of the Republic's founding charter, the voice that echoes beyond the noise of Fox's panic. What is the verdict? Guilty. Guilty of hypocrisy. Guilty of deceit. Guilty of holding their audience in contempt. Fox News and its chorus of defenders stand convicted not by ideology, but by their own contradictions, their own words, their own tapes. But this trial does not end with them. It ends with us. Because in this courtroom, the jury is the American people. You have seen the evidence. You have heard the testimony. Now you must render judgment, not with a gavel, but with your voice, your vote, your demand for truth. The rule of law is not self-executing. Democracy does not defend itself. It requires citizens who see through the fog of propaganda and insist that facts matter, that history matters, that accountability matters. So let us close with this charge to the jury. Believe your eyes. Believe the evidence. Do not let panic-stricken spin replace reality. Do not let billion-dollar lies bury truth. Do not let those who hold you in contempt claim the mantle of patriotism. The Constitution is watching, the law is waiting, and the future is listening for your verdict. The gavel falls. The trial of Fox News ends with a simple declaration. The math isn't mathing, the spin isn't working, and the truth will have the last word. The verdict is rule of law. The call to action is yours. Defend it, demand it, deliver it.